On the news, 60 bodies recovered, many missing as boat carrying 300 persons capsizes in Niger State. Reps allege discrimination, demand GCO and honor for Speaker Abbas like Akpabio. And Senate rejects bill to license private investigators amid concerns of privacy invasion. Thank you for joining us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Atiku. We begin in Niger State, north-central Nigeria, where at least 60 bodies have been recovered following a boat accident at the Gbajibo River in Mokwa local government area on Tuesday. According to a release by the press secretary to the council chairman of Mokwa local government, the boat was carrying over 300 passengers traveling from Mondi to Gbajibo for the annual Maulud celebration when it capsized. The release confirmed that the council chairman, Abdullahi Mureji, acknowledged the recovery of approximately 60 bodies, while 10 survivors have been found. It added that rescue efforts, in collaboration with the State Emergency Management Agency and locals, are ongoing to recover others who are missing. Still in celebration of Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, the Minister of State for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, says young people in the country must be adequately represented in political institutions, processes, and decision-making. Speaking at a one-day interactive session in Abuja on Nigeria at 64, the minister says to make a difference in the longer term, it is essential for young people to be engaged in formal political processes and contribute to governance in the country. On his part, the National Public Relations Officer, National Youth Council of Nigeria, says inclusive political participation is not only a fundamental political and democratic right, but also defines young people's rights and capacity to participate meaningfully.
This government mean well for this country. Critical decisions has been taken from different parts. A lot of people have said a lot. But what we are saying is this: don't let us allow political people to use us. This decision is for us. It will be hard now. It can be difficult now. But I can assure you, I'm getting there. And this country has made up his mind. This president has made up his mind to be people's first and nothing but the people's first.
The essence of having this conversation is to create a platform for individuals that our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has given the mandate to pilot the affairs of ministries, departments, and agencies of government, to see this platform as a means to communicate with the young people. Today being significant in our life as the day we are celebrating Nigerian independence, being 64 years. And we strongly believe that this such a platform, will actually, help our young people to actually get intimated with the activities of government and to see areas where they can also key into.
This is the right time for us to get a lot of youth participation in governance, and I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has begun it, and I think that it's something that should last for a long time. This is the very first time in my adult life that I've seen a Minister for State for Youth under the age of 35, right? He just clocked his 35th birthday. But more importantly, if you look at our demographics, 70% of Nigerians' population is under the age of 35. They're young people. So that's about roughly 180 million people are under the age of 35. And so we need these young people who are already excelling in music, in movies, these people who are excelling in building unicorns. We need them in government. We need them to come and bring that intelligence to government so that we can solve all the problems that we're confronted with as young people.
The 10th House of Representatives has rejected the conferment of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic CFR on Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, alleging discrimination in the conferment of national honors on the leadership of the National Assembly. Their rejection comes after President Bola Tinubu announced the conferment of national honors on the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, and Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, among others, on the occasion of Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Reacting to the honor in a motion sponsored by all 360 lawmakers, the House drew attention to the conferment of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON, on Akpabio and Justice Kekereekun, arguing that both chambers of the National Assembly are equal and the Green Chamber should not even be referred to as a lower chamber.
The House notes that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is lower in protocol ranking than the Speaker of the House of Representatives, was also awarded the title of GCON, further exemplifying this culture of discrimination against the leadership of the House. Concerned that there is an ongoing and inappropriate culture of discrimination against the House of Representatives, often portrayed as inferior to the Senate, through languages that consistently refer to the Senate as the upper chamber and the House of Representatives as a lower chamber. Mr. Speaker, this terminology misrepresents the legal status of both chambers and diminishes the House standing.
The news of the Senate President giving GCON, which is a good thing, we also expect that the same way in the Federal House of Representatives. A reason being that we are operating a bicameral legislature. When it comes to budget, the role of the House of Representatives, everybody knows that this House plays a more crucial role than the Senate.
This is about the equal chamber as enshrined in the, according to Section 47 of the Federal Republic Constitution of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, the two chambers, House of Representatives and the Senate, as clearly provided in the Constitution, work to create laws for the good governance of Nigeria.
Well, let's discuss the House of Reps' rejection of the Commander of the Federal Republic on the honor on Speaker Tajuddin Abbas by President Tinubu with public affairs analyst Dayo Akintobi. Thank you for your time, sir. Now, what's your take on this rejection of the CFR national honor by House members for the Speaker Abbas instead of the GCON like his counterpart Akpabio, and their description of the CFR honor as inferior? I mean, do you think that it is a discriminatory move against the House of Representatives?
Well, I think the House of Representatives has been a bit misguided here, and I also think they're being petty. First of all, anything that is an honor that's awarded or that's accorded to you is done in recognition of your contributions to national development, in their particular case, in terms of what they will do legislatively. So whatever kind of honor is given to you, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth and complain that it's not adequate. Rather, if you are there to selflessly serve your country, you will accept whatever is given to you in recognition of your contributions. I don't think it is politic. I don't think it is becoming for them to start comparing themselves with anybody else and comparing us with anybody else and seeking to try and equate themselves. First of all, it's a misnomer that the House of Representatives is equal to the Senate. Where in the world is that ever done? If the two bodies were equal, why would we need two? Why? If they are equal and there's no difference between the two of them, why one of them then is redundant? We wouldn't need two if they are equal. Then again, look at it. Who is the number 3 man in the country? Is it the Speaker of the House of Rep? Who is number 3 after the President, according to the hierarchy of succession? After the President and the Vice President, God forbid if both those two become incapacitated, who does power rotate to? It is the Senate President. So that tells you right there that the Senate is anterior to and superior to the House of Representatives. So they could try to shade it any which way they want. and say they are equal. But the truth of the matter is, even if you look at something as simple as their territory, how wide in each state you have only 3 senatorial districts as big as each state is. In some other states, you have as many as 30 or 40 representatives covering much smaller jurisdictions. So I don't think there's any way to compare the two. But let's go to the bigger issue here. I think it is self-serving, and I think it is immoral to say an honor has been bestowed on you for what you are doing in terms of national service, that you should now be picking and choosing that this is not good enough, this is not good enough, we don't want this because you gave. Look at the people they gave GCON to. Remember, we have 3 branches of government, and the 3 are supposed to be equal and independent. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. Now, the heads of each of those 3 departments, the head of the judiciary is the Chief Justice. She was recognized as being the head of the judiciary, which is one third of the government. So the head of the judiciary was given GCON. The head of the legislature was given GCON. So, of course, well, because the executive has a president who sits on top of it all, he got the GCFR. But what I'm saying is that if you look at it from the standpoint of the heads of each of those branches got the GCON, then their deputies or those coming after got the CFR. So essentially, Tajuddin Abbas, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, is more or less the second in command in the legislature, the second in command to the Senate President. And so he was properly given what the second in command should have been given. For them to have been saying it's discriminatory, is this, is that, I think they are just being clever by half and it's a distraction and they are being petty. Okay, I looked it up. President Buhari gave Femi Gbajabiamila CFR in 2022. I believe historically that's the way it's always been. It's now that they are finding a problem with it and they're saying, oh, they are discriminating against them. The House, anywhere you look, anywhere in the world, even in the UK, that practices parliamentary system, they have House of Commons, House of Lords, and the House of Commons is the lower house. In America, it's the same way. They've got the House and they've got the Senate, and each one is recognized as the lower and upper chamber. So I don't know why they're trying to twist things now, saying, oh, they play a bigger role in budget and constitutionally they are equal. No, they are not. So I don't agree.
Public Affairs Analyst Dayo Akintobi, thank you very much, sir, for lending your thoughts on this. Moving on, a bill seeking to license the operation and practice of private investigators in Nigeria has been shot down on the floor of the Senate. The bill also seeks to provide for a system of regulation, control, and conduct of the practice so as to ensure professional standards. The decision to suspend consideration of the bill was sequel to a deliberation which lasted for over an hour during Wednesday's plenary. The sponsor of the bill, Senator OCT, took time to highlight some provisions of the bills, saying the legislation seeks to provide a framework for the licensing and practice of private investigators in Nigeria. However, Senator Ungu was advised to step down the bill after other senators described the proposed bill as a recipe for disaster.
Regulated access, use and brokerage of confidential information may result in serious socio-economic and even political consequences. A legislative framework will provide much-needed clarity and consistency in regulation of the information gathering practices of private investigators. This will help to enhance capacity to access information relevant to investigation and also help protect privacy of citizens. The objective of this bill includes fraud prevention, detection, assessment, and resolution.
I think that it would be risky to license anyone to have the right to approach any one of us and ask certain questions because the law has empowered him so to do. It will just be a license for extortion, a license for blackmail, and unnecessary rivalry, and it will not be controllable. I think that if there was to be need, and I need to be persuaded that that need exists, to have private investigation, which is currently vested in about 3 institutions: the police, SIB within the police, DSS, and of course EFCC.
A country where we have numerous wives, and then any of the wives can approach a private investigator, and they will bring very false evidence against you, and at the end of the day, you end up being scandalized. Social media will take that report as if the report is true.
As countries worldwide explore various strategies to innovate and enhance their citizens' quality of life, experts say there is an urgent need to institutionalize a culture of innovation in Nigeria, making it an integral part of citizens' daily lives and to cultivate a vibrant ecosystem. This was the agreement at the Nigeria Innovation Summit 9.0, where speakers underscored the need to build a culture of innovation in Nigeria, hence the critical need for the country to embrace innovation as a core value across all sectors of the economy. TV360's Ogechukwu Kukwe completes the report.
The Nigeria Innovation Summit is a platform that brings together thought leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and academia to discuss strategies for fostering innovation in the country. Speakers at the event emphasized that Nigeria has the environment for innovation to thrive. They envision a culture where technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship harmoniously interacts, encouraging active participation from all stakeholders in the innovation landscape.
Through the use of process improvement, ensuring that across our processes we are able to continue to develop, continue to improve. We take our feedback from our customers, both our retail customers as well as our corporate customers. We take that very seriously, because if you're going to innovate, right, it shouldn't be a one-off thing. In order for it to be sustainable, it has to be continuous.
In Nigeria, we are blessed because we have, a very huge population, and of course we have a growing younger population. So leveraging electronic waste for us was a go-to. If we wanted to import components from China, the forex would not make our cost of production as well as cost of sales make sense at all. So we needed to look inward. And in Nigeria, we don't even manufacture these basic components. So the only way we could make sense out of the business model was to look inward.
Other speakers also emphasized that technology and collaboration are vital tools for driving economic diversification, empowering youth, and advancing sectors such as fintech, agri-tech, and education.
Nigeria must get itself out of the situation it's in and improve in any sector, maybe agriculture, maybe education, maybe in health. We must make culture the way we must make innovation the way we live by encouraging it.
So many of our departments have, in one way or the other, supported innovators. The digital economy department, for example, is supporting a lot of innovators. We have done that in the past. We're also doing it now. We've taken innovators to shows across the world, such as the GITEX, LEAP, and the rest, where we showcase what they have as innovators.
Participants at the event say that building a culture of innovation requires nurturing talent, creating an enabling environment for startups to drive economic growth and technological advancement in Nigeria.
Whatever idea you want to create or establish is already done. You are just adding to the existing idea. And apart from that, there is always government support to those ideas, those opportunities that you are seeking for. Governments have already provided platform to actually help and support you. Just ensure that you register that idea.
Free Recycle, the work that they're doing, I really love how they're able to make something out of used tires, and the fact that they are able to not just make something out of used tires, but they're even able to make something out of what's remaining, the fiber, the steel, it's remarkable.
Building a culture of innovation in Nigeria is both a challenge and an opportunity. With the right policies, investments, and collaborative efforts, Nigeria can establish itself as a leader in Africa's innovation landscape. Ogechukwu Kekwe, TV360, Lagos.
It's time for a short break. Still to come on News Now, Sudan Army vows to fight on despite international peace efforts. We'll give you details shortly. Welcome back. Let's take you through our major stories. At least 60 bodies have been recovered following a boat accident on Tuesday at the Gbajibo River in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, north-central Nigeria. According to a release by the press secretary to the council chairman of Mokwa local government, the boat was carrying over 300 passengers traveling from Mundi to Gbajibo for the annual Maulud celebration when it capsized. It added that rescue efforts in collaboration with the State Emergency Management Agency and locals are ongoing to recover others who are missing. We also told you that the 10th House of Representatives has rejected the conferment of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic CFR on Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, alleging discrimination in the conferment of national honors on the leadership of the National Assembly. Reacting to the honor in a motion sponsored by all 360 lawmakers, the House drew attention to the conferment of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger GCON on Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekereekun, arguing that both chambers of the National Assembly are equal and the Great Chamber should not even be referred to as a lower chamber. In case you missed any of our news bulletins, for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. Let's join Opeyemi Owosheni for business news. What's the latest, Opeyemi?
Well, Simi, the Senate on Wednesday summoned the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, over the deplorable state of the old Oyo-Ogbomosho road, more than 10 years after the Nigerian government began major repairs on the road. A motion of urgent public importance was moved by Senator representing Oyo North, Buhari Abdul Fatai, who drew attention to the worsening condition of the road, which is a major link between the south and the north axis. Abdul Fatai says the road has caused untold hardship for travelers, most of whom are frequently stranded due to its poor state.
The old Ogbomosho Oyo Federal Road, which the commuters have diverted to temporarily, is currently undergoing rehabilitation due to high volume of trucks plying since the year 2020. Also worried that the rehabilitation is aimed at improving the infrastructure, the continuous usage of this temporary diversion over time has unfortunately led to the destruction of most part of the Ogbomosho Metropolitan Road, leaving the people trapped in chaos. Further worried that this road, which is less than 500 meters, has become a death trap, responsible for numerous accidents in recent time, as over 10 accidents have occurred within just few days, leading to loss of innocent lives, injury, and devastating impact on businesses, whereby perishable goods from the north have been ruined and shipments from port and company amounting to millions of naira left stranded. Mr. President, it is concerned that non-completion of these few kilometers road has been choking the life out of Ogbomosho people and Nigeria at large, as it is transit road connecting the people from the north to the south, and the need for urgent action to be taken to avert further diversification.
We'll take a short break now and be back with stock market update. Nigeria's equities market started the month of October with a decline of 0.33% as investors lost about 188 billion naira at the close of trading on Wednesday, October 2nd, which is the first trading day of the month. In the aggregate, we see 123 listed equities participating in trading, ending on a negative note as 26 stocks advanced and 32 stocks declined. Ella Lakes took a nosedive, finishing the day with a 9.93% drop to close at 3.99 naira per share. Right behind you, we see Captain Offshore Support Group slipping down 9.92% to close at 2.18 naira per share. At the close of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, investors exchanged a whopping 425 million shares across 11,954 deals, racking up a total market value of 8.450 billion naira. Now, in the world of global stocks, it's a tale of two markets as the UK FTSE and the US Dow Jones danced their way to a bullish close, finishing firmly in the green, as you can see from the chart behind me. Meanwhile, the Nikkei wasn't as lucky, sliding down 2.18% to close at 37,808.76 points, and even the Asian stocks feeling a bit bearish. Well, let's switch to the foreign exchange market, where the Naira dipped further to trade at 1,690 Naira against the US dollar on the black market. The pound is valued at 2,260 Naira, while the euro stands at 1,860 Naira as well on the black market. That's your update on the business and stock market report. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Okwemi. In Sudan, the nation's Army Assistant Commander-in-Chief, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Gabir, has said troops will press on with its offensive despite international efforts to broker a ceasefire in the 7-month civil war. Gabir disclosed this during an interview on Wednesday, days after the army launched an operation to regain control of the capital, Khartoum, from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Both sides have been fighting since April last year, when their leaders fell out over the country's future, a development which has created a humanitarian catastrophe, with more than half the country facing hunger and millions forced from their homes. The general also hinted in the wide-ranging interview that the Sudanese authorities had weapons dealings with Iran, while he denied there was a famine in the country. And on sports, Libya's national team, the Mediterranean Knights, have begun preparations for their Africa Cup of Nations qualifying tie against Nigeria under their new coach, Nasir Al-Hadri. According to local media, the MNT held their first training session on Monday in Tripoli. Nasir Al-Hadri named a 28-man squad for the double-header AFCON qualifiers last week. He will then prune the squad to 23 players for the matches. The Libyan contingent is expected to arrive in Abuja on October 7 before traveling to Uyo for the clash with Nigeria. And Manchester City footballer Matheus Nunes has been released on bail after his arrest in Madrid, Spain, on charges of alleged theft. The Portuguese international was accused of stealing a smartphone from a 58-year-old man at La Riviera nightclub. Reports indicate that the incident occurred in the early hours of September 8, when the man attempted to take a photo of Nunes without his permission in the club's restroom. Allegedly, out of frustration, Nunes seized the phone and did not return it. The 26-year-old was handcuffed and taken to Arguezuela police station before calling his lawyer and released on bail hours later, pending his trial. That's all on News Now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.